as well. Afternoon, Ronald. First of all, could we just check what happened with Kone on the final day of the transfer window?
No, everybody knows that there was some interest for Aruna, but finally no deal.
Was it a difficult situation for him? It seemed that he was on his way to Palace, and obviously he's now had to.
Yeah, but okay, that's I don't know enough about that situation, why, and because what I heard from the board was that there was really interest from different clubs, and of course Crystal Palace was one of that. But finally was no deal, and he is still Everton player till the end of the season.
With that in mind, then, what role will he have between now and the rest of the season if you were willing to let him go?
Aruna's role is difficult. He was not. He isn't involved in a lot of games during this season, and he had some physical issues during this season. But I like the boy because I know him well. I worked with him in PSV in Holland. Okay, and all the front players are really good in fitness. If we get injuries, then maybe we need Aruna, and he needs to wait for his opportunity, and that's difficult at the moment. But you know, in football, things change very quickly around, and I'm happy that he still is in because he's a really experienced player, and maybe we need Aruna. Yes, okay.
We know in the last couple of weeks of the window that you were maybe looking to add at least one further player to your squad. So how satisfied are you overall with how January went in the transfer market?
Yeah, very satisfied. First of all, we had some players without any good future to get really game time, and okay, they are now away from the club because they like to play more and to have more game time, and I think that's good because that's always the ambition of a football player, and we have really a smaller squad at the moment, but enough numbers to compete and to have competition, and a little different spirit now because all of them, they have opportunities to play, to start, to be on the bench. And that's good. That's good for the spirit in the team, and that everybody is really involved in really involved in it to get game time.
We know that Donko was brought in primarily to assist the under-21s, but he started impressively against Manchester United, winning a penalty, an assist as well.
You watched the game?
I heard about it. And I've watched bits of it and clips of it. Yes.
In clips. I was in the stadium. I was in the stadium.
So you must have been impressed then as well.
Impressed, not. Impressed is really something what you did not expect. Right. And of course, we spoke about the boy. I spoke to the boy. He get that opportunity to be part of the under-23, and maybe sometimes he will be involved in the training session by the first team. He did well in the first half. The whole team had it more difficult in the second half, but I wasn't impressed.
You expect more then?
I expect more from everybody.
With that in mind then as well, there's a stat out that says that Everton are joint fourth in the Premier League in terms of the pressing game at the moment. I think that comes down to
pressing game.
That comes down to the success, the putting the opposition under pressure when they're in possession and winning the ball back in the opposition half.
That's good. That's still not good enough. I like to be the first, but we need time for that. And sometimes we can do it very good on a high level, on a high pressing level, but sometimes we need to do it better. But it starts by the strikers, and that's sometimes the most difficult part for the striker to do, because what they like is to play and to score. But it starts by doing pressing, but we are improving, and that's good, and that's good to know. But it's still not good enough.
Is that perhaps though a measure of the change that there's been since you arrived at the club?
Yes, that was one of the things to change. Not to have a team who's waiting, who is waiting for mistakes of the opponent, but really to put the pressure on the opponent in a higher pressing line, and that means for the defenders to defend with more space behind them. It's also more difficult for defenders, but we are doing well, but still we can and we need to improve more.
I know you've been asked about Joel as your number one, but long term, is he showing that he has the capabilities to be your long term number one at this club?
But I think it's not fair. We start the season by to make the decision to put Martin in as the first goalkeeper, and sometimes in life, in football, things can change, and Martin was really unlucky with his injury. His injury was not for 1 or 2 weeks. It was about 5, 6, 7 games, and in that time, Joel did really well, and there was no reason to change. No reason to change first the 11 after the City game, and it's at the moment no reason to change Joel, and that's football, and sometimes nice for Joel, and sometimes very difficult and disappointed for Martin. But I like to be fair in everything, and that's also difficult for the manager. But he did well, and no reason to change.
Is Idrissa Gueye facing a similar situation, coming back from the Africa Cup of Nations? You're unbeaten in 6 Premier League games, won 4, drawn 2. He's got to fight for his place, has he?
Yes, a little bit, yes. But first of all, Ghana played the Africa Cup, and Idrissa was one of the key players before that time, but he saw some new faces in the team, and everybody knows at the moment we have 5 really good midfield players, and it's always a big tough decision for the manager, but I like to have it, and now I can look to really details what we need, for example, for tomorrow, and to put the best midfield on the pitch.
Taking the decision yet?
Yes, I take it always very quickly.
But you won't tell me.
I don't have doubts about that.
Speaking of midfielders, could we just ask you about Frank Lampard? Obviously, he's announced his retirement as well. What you made of him as a player?
He was a great player, a legend in English football. I think it was an example in his behavior on and off the pitch, and I wish him all the best, and do something with your knowledge during your whole career, and, because that will be important for English football.
Given the run that you're on, Ronald, how catchable do you feel those teams above you are now?
Now the first above us is Man United, and they did not win at home against Hull. That means that also for them it's really difficult to win every game, and we know that. That's what we know about the Premier League, and it's possible, but it starts always by yourself. We play tomorrow Bournemouth, and maybe they're a little bit more struggling in the last few weeks, but I mentioned before the away game, and they show it to us. They're really a good team, and we need everything tomorrow. And we need big support of the fans to keep our good run at home, and it's a difficult one.
And no new injury problems?
No.
And Mo Besic, how's he coming
Mo
on?
is doing well. He's I think now maybe in 2 weeks he can be involved in parts of the training session, and he's working hard. I appreciate what he's doing, how he's acting, his behavior, and to come back soon as possible, and that's really good, and he will be back in what I mentioned before in 2-3 weeks to do parts of the session.
Ronald, Eddie Howe has said that the team have struggled and have a bit of a lack of confidence, his Bournemouth side. How tough can it be as a manager to lift players when they're a bit down in confidence?
I think the best is to keep faith in the players, to keep faith in doing what you did before, but that's all about experience for managers, and I think he has He's still a young manager, but he has a lot of experience with the club, with the team, with the players. And I don't believe that they will struggle more. They are strong. They have good players, and but of course, and the rest is all about the players. You can support your players. You can give them confidence, but the last is the part of the player by himself, how he's acting, how he's working. But don't change a lot because you are not winning. No, keep faith in your team.
As Vinny said, you're unbeaten in the last 6 Premier League games. Do you feel you're starting to get a little bit of consistency now?
Yes, and not about the results in the Premier League. Yes, about what I see every day on the training pitch, and I see difference. I see a stronger team, and of course, the spirit, the new faces is changing, and that's good. The competition, but okay. Tomorrow we need to give that answer on the pitch, and the feeling is good, but you know it's always difficult to win every game. But I think the team is more consistent and knows exactly what we want, how we like to play, and with the competition what we have in our squad, I think it's at the moment really positive.
You're just 1 point off the total home league points for the whole of last season. You must be pleased with the progress you're making.
I'm pleased about our performances at home, but if we are now already just 1 point, then was really not a good home season last year. And okay, normally I think I like teams who feel themselves comfortable at home, and normally in football you get more points at home than away. But okay, it's an understanding with the fans, and of course we know what the fans like, how we need to play. And again, I hope that support from the first, second tomorrow, but we need that against Bournemouth tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All the best.